Hi, it's 5 minutes past 7. Had anybody heard from Joe? Whether he'll not be able to make it to today's TSC's call? Hello.
Good day, Sridhar.
Hey, yeah. No, I was asking if anybody had heard from Joe, whether he would want to have today's call or he wanted to cancel, because I don't see anything in the Slack.
Yeah, I was just checking that too, Sridhar. I don't see anything either.
Okay, then if we have anybody has any topics, I can take notes and update the minutes. Anybody has any topic to bring up to TS today?
Sorry, I was looking for the mute on my phone. I had a number of topics that I wanted to bring up today.
There's Joe.
Okay.
Hey everyone.
Hi, Joe. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you guys?
Good.
All right, so what do we have as a topic for today? If
Uh,
it- yeah.
I have a handful of topics, but I want to make sure other people can get theirs in too, because I have to run to my notes and just pull them up.
Okay. Anyone else?
Wow, so I put myself on the spot, but I wasn't immediately ready. Sorry.
No, it's perfectly okay.
Can you guys give me a second? I apologize. Don't need to make everybody wait.
It is 7 a.m. So there's that.
It's true, and I'm definitely functioning at 7 a.m. level right now. Coffee is not in hand yet, so bear with me, guys. Thanks. Joe, did you receive that email that I sent? That I sent it last week. I had actually sent it the week before, but I sent it the wrong email address to you. I mean, I had the wrong email address for you.
Yes.
It was about the SCTPD stuff that needs to go into folks' config files. I was wondering if you got that.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so that I had spoken about that, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago at this meeting. I had you had asked that I send that to you so that it could be compiled into notes, but unfortunately I sent it to the wrong email address.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
So that was meant to be a topic for us to review.
Okay, why don't you just share it and let's review it then?
Yeah, bear with me for 1 second. My laptop is booting up.
Yeah, no problem.
Again,
Let me know when
I'm functioning at 7 a.m.
yeah, let me know when you're ready to share.
And Dan put in Slack that he wasn't able to make it to today's meeting.
Okay.
The other topic that I wanted to cover as well was next possible summits that we were going to attend. And Paul, we had talked about that a little bit offline.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that OCP is coming up in, I think, September.
October, mid-October.
In San Jose, and call for papers is June 21st. Are we interested in submitting? Is anybody interested in submitting a call for papers? And
Yeah,
how do we want to show up? How do we want to show up at OCP this year if we want to show up?
So a couple of things in the outreach committee meeting this week, we talked about that.
Okay.
A lot has offered to do a session on DPUs and IPUs as the new acceleration technology for the data center. So May is going to take his bio headshot and a paragraph that he supplied and submit that. She's also going to submit a similar to what we did at one summit, a introduction to OPI session. And then third, it looks like F5, Intel, and maybe Red Hat will submit a session on the Nginx running on a DPU with OpenShift underneath it. So we've got work to do to make that happen, but we're going to continue talking about it. It won't be specifically OPI, but it will have OPI. We'll touch on OPI.
Okay. I need to pull up the firmware proposal then.
Before we go there, Sridhar, you had mentioned that you thought there was a way to get a booth at OCP, but I can't find it in the prospectus. A way for an open source project to get a booth.
Oh, we had to reach out directly to the OSP organizers. I think May can do that. Yeah, I will inform her.
Okay, thank you very much, because that would change our presence there, because the cheapest booth they have is like $50K, but if we can do something cheaper than that, then that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to pull up that content I sent to you.
And ARM has offered, or is considering offering, they're still talking about it internally, providing a space within their booth to, like we did last year at OCP. So we may do that again if we can't get our own booth.
Okay. One more second. Sorry, I had to dig through a few things to find this. One other question that I probably should talk to you about this offline, Joe, but we're having some issues with the Pensando card. And I don't know if we have anybody that's a full-fledged member of OPI that is a Pensando representative. I know that Vipin has been coming and sitting in for Pensando, but I don't know if they've joined yet. Is it possible for us to find a contact if Vipin is not the appropriate one?
Ask Vipin for a contact. Yeah, just ask Vipin for a contact. You can, if you sent him an email, and just CC me and just ask him if, there's someone who could help with, the card bring up. Oh,
Okay.
and we do have I don't know, did you guys get an update on the Dell server quote?
We haven't gotten it yet that I
Okay, it's in progress. I talked to.
Oh, no. Already is already placed for that.
Oh,
it
it
is.
is.
Oh,
It
okay.
happened. Okay, good. Yeah, because they said they were gonna make it happen and,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that's good that it all went through.
Yeah, I just completed the placement of order yesterday. Yeah. So we should receive it in a week's time, I think.
Oh, excellent. Okay, good.
Okay, so the ask that we had originally had was that we needed to update the firmware for each card vendor. And we had this content on GitHub that Boris had built out.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for the DH client file. It's missing the SCTP specific information, and it needs to be added in order for cards to be able to listen for the correct SCTP server. And that's sitting in GitHub, that information. Which I can pull up here. Bear with me for a second. A much shorter second this time.
Yeah, no problem.
This is the information we were hoping to have. We were asking everybody to add to their dhclient.conf. And I can resend this to you, Joel, if you want to get consensus from everyone.
Let's so go through it and then let's you could put a note out on the mailing list and ask people to comment or have consensus either on the mailing list, and then you could paste the comments in or in the GitHub. And first thing we can basically agree next meeting at the TSC next Thursday, we can just make that a topic to agree to.
I mean, it is a fairly minor change in everybody's DH client file. It's adding one line, or it's adding an option. And adding adding a string of text to one line on the config. So it's a fairly minor change. It shouldn't be something that would affect any of the card vendors negatively in any way. It's not like we're going to make their firmware explode.
I'll send it over in the chat as well, just so that people immediately have it.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, are there any questions on that right now from anyone?
I guess we've got Oren and Santananda. Is there a reason not to do it? From your points of view for NVIDIA or Marvell?
From NVIDIA, I am not sure that we support the ZTP thing. So I'm not sure we'll have anything to put there yet.
all that would need to happen is adding those lines to the DH client file, and then SZTP could then when the card boots, it's going to request those options from the DHCP server and know where the SZTP server lives. It's really all that's going to happen.
Right, but if the card does not support ZTP, then what's the purpose of it? Right?
Right. So then it becomes a point of we can take the next step, which is putting the SZTP agent on the card. And then when it reboots, it's going to find those options and know what to do. So it's the first step in getting SZTP supported. The next step would be to have an SZTP agent available on the card, but that's a bigger lift for each vendor. We figured we'd start with a simple one.
Is there any fundamental reason or first principle reason why a Bluefield DPU can't add this, and could it have a secure ZTP client installed on it?
I'm told it's not anything against, it's just a matter of, you know, POR and things like that. Plans.
Yeah. So it adds to your test surface each build. I understand that it adds other things like that, but yeah. So you got to plan it. But you're not opposed to SZTP as a method. It's just prioritizing the work.
That's not what I'm hearing. It's not something against, just prioritization.
Got it.
Yeah, I think we also added it in some builds, but adding the thing to the default build is what is being asked, right? So that's something that will go to everybody everywhere. That's going to be a lot of develop, test kind of work. So yeah, that's something we have to decide.
All right, but to show that this method has value, okay, is there any harm in the first level proposed change, even if there were never, you know, by itself? In other words, even if you never supported the client pre-installed or as part of your standard software load, is there any harm in the change or addition asked for here? And if so, what is that? What is that harm?
I
Because
think the question is like, if you don't have a client, what is this for?
It's just to simplify the steps to make ZTP work. So currently on all the cards, it's a little different, but currently you've got to boot the card, get the DHCP address, SSH or console to the card, edit the DH client with these lines, and add the SZTP agent and a certificate, and then you can reboot the card and it works. So this is removing one of the I think three changes that each card needs to make in order to support SZTP. And it does absolutely nothing if you've got no SZTP client there. It just is a few extra characters in the DH client file.
So I'm looking at the DHC client now, and I don't see anything vendor specific. So do you have an example of how it should look like from, like, can you like invent a vendor and show how it should look like?
Yes, it should. If you go look at, if you're looking at the OPI project as ZTP,
Mhm.
there is a dhcp.conf.template that gives you the different options and things that we think should be there. So it would be lines, you would normally you've got lines 66 and 67. Often you've got or option 66 and 67. Often you get the Pixie server addresses in 27 through 29. It's talking about adding lines 24 and 25 and line 9.
So, I understand. So you want each vendor to put these lines in the same file, HCPD.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but it's not like
Oh, sorry, this is a DHCP server. So the DH client, we want to add line 1. Sorry, I was in the wrong file. The DH client file. You want to add line 1 and you want to add line 9. Those are the two things you want to add to.
Can you share? I'm not sure I'm following. Line 1 is a comment.
Sorry, I'm in the wrong file. Let me go there. I will. Can I share? I can share. That one. So in this file, the DH client file, we want to add this line, which is line 1. This is generally in a DH client file and we want to add line 9.
So to where? To this file you're presenting?
To
Or
to
file?
whatever dhclient.conf file you have on the card itself.
Ah, okay. So it's not needed to edit this file on the report. You're saying take a copy of this, besides what's relevant and what not, and put it on your card.
Yes,
Just
on the
take
card
copy.
itself in the firmware, when the card boots, you want to have you want to
Okay.
add line 1 and line 9 to your dhclient.conf file. So it's a really simple text change. No, there's no code really that's being executed. It's no real testing should need to be done. It's a low bar, we thought, for making a request of all the vendors to see if we could get all of you to make that change.
I'll check with the system team. They can do
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
For me, the bigger problem here is this is probably not in our control. Like if this is Linux DHCP client, it's either some Yocto or build root or some other distros build that is coming in when we make these file systems, root file systems.
So you're not you're taking a vanilla distro image from
Yeah, the way we generally have it is like we let people use build root Yocto or maybe Ubuntu Debian or RHEL or those kind of images that they want to run. How do we control this is what I'm asking.
yeah, you won't if someone replaces the OS, but if the default OS on the card has it, then yeah.
I think one option is to push it to build root or Yocto kind of open source project so that it automatically comes for anybody who uses that. Because for us, it's like one of those will be our default builds.
Mm-hmm. And again, this isn't the OS that is running on the cores, on the ARM cores on your cards. This would be the whatever OS that you're using to bring up your BMC or your management plane, so that we could configure the card from that management plane, get an IP address, and then know how to push an image to the
And
card.
then that becomes open BMC.
Okay. If you're using OpenBMC, that's where it needs to go. So for Marvell, you're using OpenBMC vanilla. You're not changing it at all, right?
We would change it, but we wouldn't change things like VH client or stuff like that. So we would change the HAL or hardware specific stuff. We wouldn't change it. We wouldn't change the whatever OpenBMC uses for generic things like DHCP. Yeah, our preference would be that if this is such a generic thing, then if it comes through an open source package, then no questions asked, we'll just use it. Otherwise, we have to go through a lot of internal hoops and a lot of.
Okay. Well, Laura, let's talk with Boris about this again and see if he agrees that this is something. Do all of the cards use OpenBMC as the basis for their management controller? That I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. And we don't have Dan from Intel here to answer for Intel. But so Laura, I think I know how to advance this forward with Boris. And you, and we can, how about we send our findings and our thoughts back to Oren Santananda and Dan Daly, and ask for to make the ask a little more specific, and see if it is something we need to request of OpenBMC or of others.
Well, she may have stepped out. She has messaged as BARB.
Oh, okay. I know how to get a hold of her. So I'll take that. I don't have any other topics. That was it,
All right.
Joe.
Yeah, does anyone else, sorry, I'm actually in the office and they partially cut off my network access, or application access through some proxy, so I can't edit the notes. So I didn't have anything else. Let's take this to a set of direct conversations and summarize next week.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Then in that case, I think that's it for today. So we'll talk to you guys next week and try to resolve this. Again, if we can't get a secure ZTP config easily on cards, then we have a lot of challenges. So let's see if we can resolve this one, or agree that we shouldn't do this at all. So, all right, talk to you guys next week.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.